For the next series of videos, we're going to be talking about landform creation. And we're going to talk a lot about the plates that make up the Earth's surface. And so we're first going to talk about those plates before we get into how they make landforms. So if you take out the diagram you got in class, it's very similar to the one on the screen in front of you. The areas that I've outlined in red here, and you could do that on your own diagram, are the plates. There are 7 major plates that make up the Earth's surface. They're the largest ones, and then there are other smaller ones. These plates on average are 100 to 200 kilometers deep. So it's, when you think of a plate in your dinner plate that you eat off of, it's not something that's thin. It's very deep, and it covers, it is the Earth's crust, the surface of the Earth, and it goes all over the Earth. What sometimes is difficult to kind of wrap our brains around is when we think of, the Earth's surface, the Earth's crust, we think of land that we can see, and we think of continents. But as you can see in the diagram, these plates sometimes go through continents, or they go into the oceans, because underneath the ocean, you go down as deep as you can, you are going to find rock. You are going to find the surface of the Earth. So it's really important to understand that the plates are not just around continents. Some of them, crisscross across different continents, and they encompass the water around, or the oceans around a continent. Now, plates are constantly moving. We don't feel them moving. It's not like, they're moving really quickly, but they are constantly moving. They're sort of floating on top of the asthenosphere, which is the sort of liquid material, or the magma that's underneath the plate, underneath the plate. And they're sort of held in place by something that's called convection flow. And if we think about the unit we did in science on heat, convection flow is the action of warmer materials rising, and then as it cools, it drops to be reheated. So in the Earth, we have the center core, which is our heat source, and it heats the material, the magma, and it rises, and it pushes up against the plates and kind of keeps it in place. And as it cools, the magma circulates back down to be reheated. So the plates are sort of floating on this asthenosphere. And they kind of fit together like a puzzle. And sometimes the puzzle fits perfectly and they just kind of float in place. And other times they might push against each other, or pull away from each other, or grind up against each other, which then causes things to happen in our environment, which we'll talk about in another video.